Good morning, students. We have started the revision of fundamental unit of life, and we have covered so many areas in this chapter already. Okay, now let us discuss about the nucleus in this class. Before discussing about the nucleus, let us have a small or brief introduction about the staining of the cells in the laboratories and why we have to understand this. That also we will learn now. Different regions of the cell, they have different chemical composition. Different regions of the cell have different chemical composition, and this chemical composition plays a very crucial role in the staining process. Based on the chemical composition, different regions of cell get colored differentially in the process of staining. What is staining? Application of a coloring material on the cells in order to view the structure of the cell clearly, right? And those colored materials are known as stains, and applying those stains in the laboratory, okay, in order to view the cells under the microscope is known as staining process. Different stains that are used in cell staining process are iodine solution, methylene blue, or safranin solutions. Okay. Nucleus. When we stain the cells and observe that stained cell under the microscope, we can observe a darkly colored spherical or oval dot-like structure near the center of each cell. This darkly colored spherical or oval dot-like structure near the center of each cell is called nucleus. Nucleus is covered by a double-layered covering membrane, which is known as nuclear membrane. And this nuclear membrane has pores in it, and these pores allow the transfer of material from inside the nucleus to outside the nucleus, that is into the cytoplasm, and from outside the nucleus, that is from the cytoplasm, to inside the nucleus into the nucleus. So simply to speak, the pores in the nuclear membranes allow the transfer of material in between nucleus and cytoplasm. Nucleus contains genetic material. This genetic material is present in the form of chromosomes when the cell is in the process of cell division. And these chromosomes are visible as rod-shaped structures. Only when the cell is about to divide. Chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. DNA full form is deoxyribonucleic acid. D for deoxyribo, N for nucleic, A for acid. So DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. Now, DNA is the form of information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation. So DNA is the form of information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation. So where this DNA is present in chromosomes, where the chromosomes are present in nucleus. So nucleus contains what? The information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation. In which form that this information is present inside the nucleus? In DNA form. And where does this DNA present in the nucleus? In the chromosomes. And what chromosomes are composed of? Chromosomes are composed of DNA and protein. So DNA molecules, they also contain the information for the cellular construction and organization. DNA molecules, they are the form, DNA is the form of information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation. Along with that, DNA molecules, they also contain the information for the cellular construction and organization. Means using this information, certain molecules are synthesized. Using those molecules, the cellular structure is constructed and organization is made. Okay, and such DNA molecules are known as functional molecules, right? This information is present in DNA in its different segments. The information that is required for the cellular construction and organization is present in different segments of DNA, right? And these functional segments of DNA are known as genes. These functional segments of DNA are known as what? Genes. Okay, right. Just now we have discussed that when the cell is about to divide, the genetic material is present in the form of rod-shaped structures which are known as chromosomes. Like how DNA is present as part of chromosomes in a dividing cell, the DNA is present as part of chromatin material in a cell which is not dividing. So DNA is present as part of chromosomes when the cell is about to divide or when the cell is in its dividing condition. Whereas the DNA is present as part of chromatin material in a cell which is not dividing. What is this chromosome and what is this chromatin? Are they two separate materials? No. Actually, when the cell is not dividing, during that time genetic material is present in the form of chromatin material. The same chromatin material will be changing its structural organization and gets condensed and form rod-shaped structures called chromosomes. Chromatin only is changing its organization and forms the what? Chromosomes. Chromosomes are visible as rod-shaped structures. When the cell is dividing, chromosomes are visible as rod-shaped structures. And chromatin is visible as entangled mass of thread-like structures. Okay, entangled mass of thread-like structures. Okay, when the cell is about to divide, this chromatin gets organized into chromosomes. When the cell is about to divide, this chromatin gets organized into chromosomes. Cellular reproduction. What is cellular reproduction? We know the reproduction of organisms, formation of new organisms from the already existing organisms. That process is known as cellular reproduction. That is normal reproduction. And what is cellular reproduction? A process by which a single cell divides and forms two daughter cells or two new cells is known as cellular reproduction. From one cell, two daughter cells or two new cells are formed by cellular reproduction. And coming to, there are so many chemical activities that take place inside the cell. And these chemical activities of the cell, they determine the development of the cell and even they make the cell to have or to get the form at its matured state. That is, the matured form of the cell is actually the result of the various chemical activities that keep occurring inside the cell. And development of the cell also, it is the result of the chemical activities that are taking place inside the cell. Nucleus, it plays a central role in cellular reproduction, and then same nucleus, it directs the chemical activities which are actually making the way of development of the cell and which are actually making the cell to get its form at its maturity. So nucleus is playing the central role in cellular reproduction as well as it is directing the chemical activities of the cell. And coming to nucleoid. What is nucleoid? In Greek language, oid, oid means like, nucleus-like structure. Undefined, that is without nuclear membrane. Undefined nuclear region that contains only nucleic acid is known as nucleoid. Such poorly organized nuclear region without a nuclear membrane. Such poorly organized nuclear region or nucleide is present in the organisms like bacteria. All bacteria, they fall under a separate category of organisms known as prokaryotes. What does it mean by prokaryotes? Pro means primitive or primary. Karyote or karyon is equal nucleus. Okay, karyote or karyon means nucleus. The organisms that contain primitive or primary nucleus, actually we should not speak as nucleus. The organisms that contain nucleide in the place of nucleus are known as prokaryotes, and all bacteria fall under prokaryotes. The prokaryote organisms are the organisms of whose cells lack nuclear membrane. And so prokaryotes, they do not contain nuclear membrane covering the region which contains the nucleic acid. Okay, and eukaryotes, U means true, karyon means nucleus. True nucleus containing organisms means they contain defined nucleus. The nucleus with a double layered covering membrane is known as defined nucleus. Such organisms with cells having nuclear membrane are known as eukaryotes. Prokaryotes, not only they do not contain defined nucleus, they do not contain even membrane bound cellular organelles also. Prokaryotic organisms, not only they do not contain defined nucleus, but also they do not contain membrane bound cellular organelles. Whereas in eukaryotic cells, both defined nucleus as well as membrane bound cellular organelles are very much present. As the prokaryotes do not have defined nucleus and membrane bound organelles, the organization of the structure will be very poor, so that the cell also will be very small. So only prokaryotes could not develop themselves into multicellular organisms, whereas in eukaryotes, the cell is having a well-developed structural organization by containing defined nucleus and membrane bound organelles. It has got a good organization, so it could develop into multicellular organisms level. Okay, so in prokaryotes, you will not find any multicellular organisms, whereas in eukaryotes, you can find both unicellular organisms as well as multicellular organisms also. Thank you.